Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero in the pop culture space. That's TV, movies, video games. We do a little speculation and news, insider stuff like that, all that fun stuff. I, of course, am Mo de Poupe, your resident Fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the video game designer, anime expert, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. Ladi, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Ready to talk about our evil overlord who decided to bless us today to give us some news.
That's right. We're this episode of the Supercast, episode 26. It's the Overlord Disney Plus Day, where we talk about what the evil Mickey Mouse Empire is going to bless us with in the forthcoming year. This is to celebrate their 2 year anniversary. They've kind of kicking ass over there, and they had a big Marvel, presentation. So we're gonna look into that. Of course, we're also checking out all the news that came out over the last week. Last couple weeks, actually. We had a hiatus last week, in part due to scheduling, but also I was kind of under the weather, so I've recovered a little bit, and we're back in action. There is a ton of news from the last couple weeks. For instance, there's going to be a werewolf thing for Disney Plus next year, and they found their werewolf. The Eternals, how did it do in its first couple of weekends? We're going to look at that. Ava DuVernay talks about why the New Gods got canceled. It's not a surprise why it did. There's some talk about uh, who will lead the next Black Panther movie, and from a logistical standpoint, doesn't seem like a great move. There's another rumor about Black Panther about the possibility of a new character being introduced, and it could be a child. The producer of Black Panther also lays to rest that what's T'Challa's his status in the MCU. There's a new Spider-Man No Way Home poster. Henry Cavill puts his name out there for a certain British superhero. We find out when Miss Marvel's going to release next year. There's Tom Hanks talks about being in the MCU, or rather not being in the MCU, and there's some rumors about Daredevil, a potential season 4. All that, and plus again, all that Disney Plus Day stuff. It's a long list, and we're gonna roll through it. So, Lottie, you ready, man? This is this is gonna
hmm
be we're gonna be marathoning this thing. So, let's dive right in there. Eternals dropped. I guess I want to call it 10 days ago. I think 10 or 11 days ago. It's been out a couple of weekends, and it's got a couple of I guess you would say not so great things about it. It's the first and only MCU movie to be certified rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it was at 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. So more than half of the critics that reviewed it didn't like it. It's got a B cinema score, the lowest cinema score of all of the MCU movies. Yes, even including Thor: The Dark World. At the same time, number one at the box office in its first weekend and second weekend. It is sitting currently at $280 million worldwide and 118 million domestic. There's a lot of people that really like this movie. A lot of people really didn't like this movie. The haters are jumping up and down, and the lovers of it are defending it. So there's all that going on. And if I saw it, Jen and I went and saw it. I'm gonna review it later. Just know, I think I liked it, but it had its problems. So on balance, I liked it. So, um, Lottie, I'm sure you've been hearing all of this stuff going on. I know you haven't seen it yet, but I know heard all this stuff going on. It,
hmm
it's as the haters want to say, it failed because it's woke and blah 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 blah. And should Disney be worried? And I think Disney, I mean Marvel has literally said, "Hey, we're trying to hit a home run, and sometimes you don't hit a home run." So, but we're happy with what's going on. And Kevin Feige reportedly loved the movie, so or at least so as we've heard. That all that being said, you hear all this stuff. What's your take on where the Eternals is now, and does it have any effect on you know what their plans are going forward?
First of all, let me say this: there's no way that movie is worse than Thor: The Dark World. I've watched that. I haven't watched the movie, but I've watched Thor: The Dark World. There's no way. No way. I've refused to believe it. There's some crazy stuff going on to where there's some people that are hating the movie even in like the main industry. I think I'm getting Days Gone like uh feels about the movie. And I've heard from some people that it's not the best of movie, but at the same time, I don't think it. I from what they said, I don't think it's a bad movie. I just feel that Marvel maybe oversold the movie, thinking they're gonna come into this like like because the way it seemed like, especially towards when it was coming out, we were about to see like 10 Supermen. You know what I mean? 10 Superman, or maybe 10 Superman and 5 Wonder Women. You know what I mean? Basically doing epically God stuff, but probably was not that happened in the movie. And maybe that's on Marvel trying to load up the pitch, and the movie couldn't hit the home run. It probably hit a base run, you know. But I'm gonna watch the movie objectively because I don't like letting people tell me how to feel about something. Because if that was true, I would think that Days Gone was a bad video game. When I think, in my opinion, it's one of the best video games I've ever played. But if you ask other people, it's one of the worst games ever created.
Hmm.
But that's what it's there is. They want to say that, so
Yeah, this is I guess the haters, they're gonna have some ammunition in their quiver, so to speak, against it. But they're not wrong in the sense that yes, this is probably going to underperform relative to how much they paid for it. I don't think the quote wokeness is what actually killed it. If anything, I'd say what will make this movie underperform, not live up to its expectations, is probably going to be the fact that the storytelling it's not that it's necessarily bad. It's more so that it's a little ponderous. It has a lot to say. It has a lot that it's trying to say or trying to convey, and it takes a long time doing. It's got the space to do so, and that's not necessarily a good thing. And also, it suffers from some of the similar problems that most Marvel movies have, which is generally underwhelming villains and problems whose solution are a lot more obvious and less protracted than they end up being within the MCU. Uh,
yeah.
and so
No,
when it comes to that, yes, there if you've seen a Marvel movie, you're like, man, this villain sucks. You're gonna get more of that.
yeah, I think this is where I had to like I've told some of my friends this and they don't believe me, but it's just true. Marvel lacks appealing or compelling villains. They don't have that villain that you go like, "Oh my god." DC's loaded with them, but like I tell people all the time, when everyone's like, "Oh, but what about Thanos?" Thanos is not a compelling villain. He's decent in the comic books, but Kevin Feige made him a good villain. He's let's be honest, he's a ripoff of Darkseid. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
but
no, I get what you're saying. It's just that's what you can expect from this. But that said, I think this also may be a test of the MCU loyalty and uh, how much people are willing to go experience in order to get the overall MCU experience, which is something I want to touch on later when we talk about the Disney Plus Day announcements. I think
Mhm.
that that's very much a question that's going to be answered in the future. So, But we'll see. We're gonna keep an eye on Eternals as it rolls along, and we'll report back on how it's doing. This is sort of a follow up to a previous thing we talked about, which is that Disney's they're leaning into horror and supernatural stuff a little more. Well, next year we're gonna get I think they said for sure we're gonna get a Halloween special, and it's going to be uh, I think werewolf focus, or werewolf by night or whatever. But apparently they've hired an actor to play that werewolf guy. I'm gonna see if I can say his name, Gael Garcia Bernal. Who
Only
it,
werewolf girl.
well, it's
I'm just playing.
yeah, I know. uh, he's going to be like I said, playing a werewolf by night, possibly. This guy, if you've seen the movie Old, he
hmm
played the father in Old, so he's a Mexican actor. It's I really want to only to note this, and real quick just to note it, just to say that Marvel, and this I guess I'll slightly spoil the Eternals credit trailer, only to say this, that there's something that happens in the Eternals post credit scene, the second one, uh, and Blade Blade's voice can be heard, and so between that and Doctor Strange doing his thing, right? And then we
hmm
have, so we have Blade for the first time actually in the MCU. Blade is coming as a movie. Then we have this, we have this Werewolf by Night thing. So it's pretty clear that the supernatural slash horror aspect of the MCU is about to come to the forefront. And what I know you've mentioned this before, but what do you think that now that we hear this for sure, what do you think about that?
So I wish, maybe you could, put this right in front of the screen right now with the LeBron James gift that says about damn time. Listen, there are two black. I'm gonna just say this real quick so people understand this. I am an absolute lover of supernatural like stuff. Not like I'm like a ghost fanatic, but I like the supernatural stuff of like supernatural hunters, demon hunters, witch hunters. I love that essence. And growing up in the 90s, I'm not lying to you. I was in love, in love with Spawn and Blade. And I also had, this is unrelated, a unnatural, and you remember this, an unnatural obsession with the Grim Reaper. I just love
Right.
that whole entire like story. Like I don't know what the genre's called. Is it called Grim or something?
I don't know.
But
that
I love that genre, and I love to see. I'm happy to see that Disney's bringing it back. Hopefully, whoever owns Spawn, please give us another Spawn movie. Because
they are working on that, by the way, but
oh, thank
but
God.
I
But
don't expect
that's
it anytime soon. But
yeah, I
yes,
know. I'm fine with that. I'm just happy that it's happening because I love these stuff. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Marvel. I'm a huge fan of these supernatural stuff. I love seeing, and I hope that Marvel doesn't hold back with the dark tone. It doesn't have to be rated M. It doesn't have to be rated M. But I don't. It could be, and they can have humor in it. But I don't want this thing to be like one of the things that is true about Marvel movies. They are unnaturally bright a lot of times. You know what I mean? They usually fight during the day. You know what I mean? It's they're in a open area where the sun is beaming down on them. You very rarely see Marvel fights at night. You know what I mean? They're always technically during the day. I hope that these movies are dark, and I mean, like really, really dark, and bring in like that horror tone of that unsettling environment. It doesn't have to be rated R, but you can make things unsettling and still make it PG-13. One of the scariest games of all time is rated T. You know what I mean? You
Hmm.
don't have to be gory and bloody to make something horror.
Right.
And I hope Kevin Feige is ready to do his best R.L. Stein or Edgar Allan Poe impression and
Right.
make this thing dark.
Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, the Werewolf by Night is definitely in that category, especially, and also, and we're going to talk about Moon Knight later. But Moon Knight debuted in Werewolf by Night, in fact, and Moon Knight is seems to be leaning into that too. Again, we'll talk about that when we get to the Disney Plus stuff.
Hmm.
Another kind of follow up to something we talked about earlier in the year. So the New Gods was going to be a movie over at DC, and Ava DuVernay was gonna direct it. She was co-writing the script with Tom King, and then it got canceled probably about three or 4 months ago. Well, it came to she basically told in an interview that the reason why it got canceled is because, and mind you, this is a dumbass reason for this to get canceled, but this is why it got canceled. That
Hmm.
the executives over at DC didn't want any between confusion when it came to the audience because they had another property that was dealing with with something related to the New Gods. Now, she didn't say the name of the property or who it was, but it's pretty clear she meant the Snyder cut, which dealt a lot more explicitly with the goings on Apocalypse. We saw more of Dark Side and Granny Goodness and all of that stuff. Um, so we're not getting a New Gods because of that, because the
Hmm.
executives think people can't chew gum and walk at the same time. All right, let them have it, Lottie. Go ahead and let them have it.
And
It's
uh,
DC. DC. This is DC. They think we're dumb. They think we can't
I,
handle this.
I'm I don't know what to do with DC, man. Uh, I've never seen. You know what DC reminds me of? DC reminds me of Nintendo. They are the Nintendo of the movie industry.
Oh, they're
They
not
have
that
these
successful. But yeah, go ahead.
they have these amazing characters. Remember how I just said earlier in this conversation? What does Marvel lack? Compelling villains. What does DC have an abundance of? I'm talking about like it's ridiculous that they can literally make a movie of every single one of their villains and it will be a box office hit because every single I mean not Disney, DC villain is fucking amazing. And I'm not just talking about every main villain of each every main villain of each superhero. I'm talking about the side villains too. Like Batman's villains are amazing. Superman's villains are amazing. Just Dark Side. We all know, like you just said, why are they not giving us this stuff? Come on, DC. What is wrong with you? I just don't know what to think
They
and
don't.
do with DC anymore.
They're gun shy. They they got ahead of themselves, thinking they're going to rush out a Justice League, big old Justice League movie to to compete with Marvel, and they've gotten kind of burned on some of it, and
Yeah.
it's just I'm like, come on, just they've greenlit some other stuff, safer things, but I really would like to have them to have done the New Gods because the Eternals just got done. I don't know that the Eternals was a great. I don't think it was a terrible representation of Jack Kirby's vision, but it wasn't a home run, and New Gods could have been. So I don't know. They just kind of punked out on it, honestly, in favor
Hmm.
of the Snyder cut. So was that the right move? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I feel like, man, I really like I tell people this all the time. And sometimes they go back and they go look at it and I tell them all the time, if DC had competent leadership, I really think this is almost like, this is reminding me of I'm about to go into not just video, this is PC tech. They're also like the Intel. DC's like Intel. Marvel is AMD. They're not stopping. They're rolling, pushing out all these stuff. Now they're trying new things. They already made their money on the main stories. Now they're pushing out new things that we are eating up. TV shows, all that stuff. You know what? DC does. DC, they're like Intel. Once every so often, they make a good product that is fucking amazing, and then they're like, we're not gonna do it again. Why not? Mm, I don't know. We just don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't like. God, can you imagine? Like I tell people this all the time. Like, I would love to see a Lex Luthor movie, like a movie of Lex Luthor. I would love to see a Lex Luthor movie. I would love to
I
see him.
think you're like more likely to get one of those than you are to get one of their more out there things. Like they got burned by Green Lantern, and now the only way they'll do Green Lantern is as a prestige um, TV show, and they're still working on. They've been working on it for 3 years now, and it's no closer to filming than the Static Shock movie is. Yeah, DC's they're gun shy. They've been burned a little bit, and I don't think that they have confidence in anything that isn't Batman or like Superman or something like that. It's kind of ridiculous. So, um, but not surprising.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Let's talk about some Black Panther stuff. There's several things we're gonna, you know, I don't want to say we're gonna package all in at once. One of them we're gonna talk about more than other, and you know what I'm talking about. So first, this is no rumor. This is just straight from the producer's mouth. The producer of Black Panther says we will not be seeing T'Challa in the MCU again. Well, actually, what he said specifically is 616 MCU. In other words, the mainline MCU. We're not going to see him again. That doesn't mean, I think, that we won't see him. I think that means that T'Challa could come back in like an animated form or,
Hmm.
an alternate, superior Star Lord or whatever. But we're not going to see him again in the MCU, which sort of backs up the idea that Black Panther 2, the main, the main character or characters is definitely not T'Challa. I'm interested in seeing how they write him out, but he is not going to be in the MCU again. Um, I'm trying to holding back the tears over here, but I'm not really. But T'Challa's my dog, and it's pains me to hear that, but also I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Let's pour one for the guy who in 2018 made being black cool again. Well, it was
Wait,
always cool, but he made
I would
it.
say didn't. It's like he made he
He made
made.
it.
No, I was gonna say he made like um kind of the culture that more African culture than African American culture. Cool to connect with, man. But
Yeah.
it wasn't just that. He's Black Panther. I get why they're not recasting him. I personally would have been like, y'all can recast him. It's fine. But I get why you don't. It
Hmm.
just sucks. It's sad because T'Challa is arguably, in my opinion, the one of the top three characters in heroic characters in the MCU.
Hmm. Yep.
I may be biased, but he is one of the top three heroic characters in the MCU in terms of his character, like character as in his origin, his upbringing, the way he carries himself, the sort of person he is. He's a young in the MCU. T'Challa is a relatively young man, and yet he has the respect of Captain America, right? And a much older man who will listen to him. So it's clear that he had the wisdom to be a king, and we're just not.
Hmm.
We're deprived of his presence. Um, but that also leads to another part, a rumor, if you will, that a new character is going to be introduced, and that will be the son of Nakia and T'Challa. Um, no, I, I'm going to say this is a really out of there, really
So,
no, there's no nothing to back this up. Just a person said, "I know some stuff, and this is going to happen."
so Did they have a kid in the hyperbolic time chamber or something?
Yeah, that's remember. So I think that it's fair to say that there's probably going to be a couple years removed. They're going to be a couple years removed from, or a year. They're going to basically.
Nah,
No, well, I'm
it's
just
got to
saying
be.
they're going to be catching up to they're going to be catching up to the present, and not the present, but the
Wait.
present within the
Oh,
MCU. Because
you know
remember,
what I just realized? I just realized you're right because he could have had his son. She could have produced his son during the blip. 100% right. This is not that. I forgot. Blip. This is almost like Hashirama cells. The blip is the easiest way to just throw a character that came out of nowhere. Wait, isn't that character supposed to be like? How is that character 10 years old? Born during the blip. Oh, makes sense.
yeah. So that
You
I
know,
mean,
because
it could have been I mean, it could be any of that. It could have been that there's a 2 year gap between the end of Endgame and the start of Black Panther 2. I mean, there's all sorts of right ways it would work. But
well,
that's
for them to introduce him, we don't want to see a 2-year-old kid walk up and be Black Panther. We want to at least see a 5 or 6-year-old kid. You know what I mean?
yeah,
At least he could wear the necklace or something. I don't want the necklace to be on his damn feet.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I think I think I hope this is true. I absolutely hope this is a true statement. It would be nice because there would be T'Challa's legacy, even though they're gonna probably kill him off or something like that.
I hope they don't do him like they did Will Smith and what was that junk
After Earth.
uh no, not After Earth, Independence Day, like Legacy
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
where he's the greatest pilot ever, but he died in a training accident. You mother, that was how dare you do that to Will Smith's character? He
You know
died
what?
in a training
It
accident.
happens though. You know that everyone it does happen. People do die even though they know what they're doing. So,
They could have had him
uh,
that he died during an invasion or something, another invasion. Why does it have to be a training exercise? That is inglorious.
because Will Smith they didn't want to pay him. That's why.
Yep. Take that, Will Smith. How dare you don't take our money?
Right, right. Moving on. The this is what I really wanted to talk about when it came to the rumors about this. So you heard that Letitia Wright she got injured and everything, and they're holding off on shooting, finishing shooting on the movie until I think February was the time I heard. But we also heard, because she's a you know vaccine denier and blah blah, all that stuff, all that stupid shit we've already talked about her before. Um, but this is the rumor is that Shuri's going to be basically the lead of this new Black Panther movie, which you know that's a I call that a questionable decision on the part of the writers, even though canonically did happen in the comics. But it seems weird that she would lead the movie, and maybe she's only going to lead this one movie because Letitia Wright on some bullshit. Am I right? Like she on some bullshit right now.
Yeah.
She's apparently unvaccinated, and then she's gone back to England to recuperate. And like, is she gonna be allowed to come back over? Because
Oh, I didn't
because
even
she's
realize that.
unvaxxed. Because she's unvaxxed. She's gone home, and she's not an immigrant. She's not a citizen. So will they even let her back over here to finish shooting this film? All
Wow.
because I get there's a lot of people got a lot of dumbass you know opinions about her and her freedom and all this. It's people keep talking about this shit as if the only people who have freedom are the people that don't want to be vaccinated. You know what? Disney got freedom too. The freedom to fire your ass for not following their rules. That it's I understand people have their problems with the vaccine or whatever, but if you want to fucking work for them, maybe you just get with the program. But she's just at what point is she no longer an asset and she's just a liability? Is my question.
Hmm. I mean, I'm with you, man. It's getting to the point that, like you said, she's uh she's doing this. She's not showing up. I don't know what to say, man. It's like it's getting to the point that I agree with you. It's like where does it get to the point that we're like, because this happens in sports all the time. The ones that are not vaccinated, or they get injured, or they just it gets to the point that you're like you're every time something of bad press has came out with this movie, it's because of her. Does it get to the point that you're just like, hey, as much as everybody likes your character, listen, we might have two Wakandans die in a training accident.
Mm. Oh shoot, a vibranium mishap. It's gonna be a training accident. A vi- she maybe she's gonna die in an unfortunate vibranium a vibranium strap on accident or something.
Or maybe she died from trying to put on her brother's suit, and it just, oh, that'll be dark. I was thinking of something
I
really
think
dark.
I
I
I
was like,
think
maybe this.
yeah, I was gonna say that would be messed up. Doesn't quite fit her, but uh, I think if they do it right, he'll ride off into the sunset,
Hmm.
not explode. But if Shuri explodes, it'll be like, man, she was like messing around with she's playing too close to the vibranium or something. I don't know. But yeah, Letitia Wright. Just I'm at this point. I'm just like, man, just recast. I don't like your character. I loved her character. I don't like her. I like her character so much that I would be fine if somebody else played it. So, all right. Well, moving on. We'll come back to that whenever we get more information on Black Panther 2. Um, everyone loves Spider Man. There's a new Spider Man No Way Home poster, showing the Doc Ock tentacles and all. Who is that in the background? Do you see it? Did
Hmm.
you see close? Did you zoom in times 100 and see who that was flying in the back?
Hmm. Hmm.
There's people are also saying, and they're saying it's the Green Goblin, obviously. They're like, what's that little bit of swirly stuff in back? Is that Sandman? Is Sandman coming back? At this point, who isn't in it? I think I saw someone say the secret person that's coming in is the guy who Peter owes rent in Spider-Man 3, the Russian landlord. He's the secret character that's going to show up. Like everybody's in this shit at this point. But anyway, we're talking about Green Goblin. I know you. I know you are just like hell yeah. I was like hell yeah. I know you're like hell yeah.
Yes.
I
It's a,
mean, this is a given though, right? They threw a fucking pumpkin bomb in the teaser trailer.
yep. I mean, duh. I mean, it's, and then you heard the laugh. So if I do not see William Defoe go up to Peter's Tom Holland's Peter Parker's Aunt May and say, finish it, finish it. If I don't see that, this movie gets an automatic F for me. All jokes aside, oh, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this. I hope I already know it's William Dafoe, because how dare you bring back that guy as Doc Ock and it's not William Dafoe? We heard the laugh, so we all know it's him. Course, of course, the other Spider-Man is in. The other Spider-Mans have to be in the movie. Listen, they won't shut the hell up. Did you hear his new quote? Oh, I can't wait to see the new Spider-Man movie. Shut the hell up, Andrew Garfield. He's
Did
excited for the new Andrew Garfield. Just shut up.
I think the thing about this is everyone's so keyed up about it. Man, I feel like Sony they've kind of literally painted themselves into a corner. And those motherfuckers had better be in that movie. Am I wrong? At this point, them motherfuckers had better be in this movie.
Yeah, they have to be in the movie.
Because
There's no way
because
that you could
if
put
they're
them. There's no
not,
way.
if they are not, and they gonna try to make like, man, Marvel, you're mess. No, Sony. This is Sony's boat too.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, y'all been playing around too much. Um, it's at this point. And also, I saw a picture. I saw that this is the great way everything starts on the fucking internet. I saw a picture of Tobey Maguire taking a kind of not a selfie or someone taking a selfie with Tobey Maguire and like several people, right? Like, okay, he's somewhere, they're under a tent or whatever, that whatever. Like maybe they're out to eat or something, or on a
Hmm.
set. They're in a tent, right? There's a picture right after in this tweet that shows Zendaya in the same tent, sitting like she's sitting in like looking down at something, like she's sitting at a table. It's the
Hmm.
exact same tent. Like literally, you can tell that picture of Tobey Maguire was taken. He was at the table she was at, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Will you bitches stop this? Just like stop pretending like this shit isn't happening." Like
Yeah.
I'm honestly I'm about over this shit. It's 5 weeks away. I just want to go see this damn movie. Like
Yes.
I'm over it. Like I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But we're going
Yes.
to the next bit that comes out. We're going to talk about. So,
Yeah.
um, how do you feel about Henry Cavill saying he wants to be Captain Britain if he gets to join the MCU?
Henry Cavill could be whatever he wants.
But Captain Britain, that's that's almost literally. First of all, Captain Britain
Mhm.
is basically magical Superman in the MCU.
Yes.
Yes, please, and may I have another? Yes, you're
If
right. I'll agree. Henry Cavill could be whatever fuck he wants to be in the MCU, but god dang it, if he wants to be Brian Braddock, Captain Britain, well, God save the Queen. Let's have that. Let's get that man in a Union Jack, onesie, and let's go. Let's have.
if
I want it.
if Henry Cavill wants to be Green Lantern and Superman at the same time, you do it. If Henry Cavill wants to be the damn, what's the Marvel's version of Superman again? Forgot his name.
Well, there's several, but I mean, Captain
But
Britain. Captain Britain
the
almost literally is kind of like Superman.
well, the one that has like an alter ego that's a
Oh, you're
villain.
talking about the Sentry. You're talking about
Yeah,
the
if he
Sentry.
wants to be Sentry, let him. Henry Cavill has the absolute key to all geekdom,
Yeah.
to all geekdom slash nerdom. If he wants to be Kratos in a God of War movie, damn sure shave his head or put a bald cap on him and let him grow out
So
that manly beard and make him
I
Kratos.
got one for you. What if he wanted to be Victor Von Doom?
Yes, put a damn metal mask on him. Make him have. If he whatever he wants to be. If he wants to be Reed Richards, let him be it.
I can't. Honestly, I'm gonna be real here. He's still under. I think he may. I don't know if it's how his contract is with DC is right now. I know he's got some other things going on right now, but I'll tell you what. I I will I will would be surprised as shit if Kevin Feige hadn't been sort of texting him or something like, "What's up, man? You want to come over here, right? Let's just talk. What you want to do, man? Come on, just show up. Just show up, my friend.
Come on,
I'm
baby.
tell I'm
Just
tell."
put the suit on, man. Just put the suit on, man. Come on, baby.
Henry Cavill's already got the build. I mean, God, you're right. He could be whatever. He could be whatever the
Yep.
fuck he wants. So yes, I say yes to Captain Britain or whatever he wants to do. A little bit of scheduling news for Miss Marvel. I've been hotly anticipating this show. Um, so they said that it's going to be releasing Q4 of 2022. But before you be like, God dang it, I gotta wait until next year this time. No, Q4 financial Q4 for Disney, which roughly translates to late summer. So late summer next year, we can expect to see the Miss Marvel show. Uh, yes.
Yes.
Kamala Khan. I know Kamala Khan. At least I know her from the comics. I'm hella excited for this thing, and I'm just glad that they finally locked it down. I imagine this is probably to do with production schedules and everything like that, and also the fact that they moved the Marvels to 2023. So this makes all the sense in the world. I am looking forward to it. We'll talk about it more because there was a bit of stuff in the Disney Plus day. Did you know Tom Hanks is like, you know what? Them people over at Marvel just haven't called me. I guess they don't want me in the MCU. To which I say, ask you, Lottie, how quickly do you think Kevin Feige got on the phone to call Tom Hanks?
So, is Woody going to be in a MCU movie? Is Woody going to be Captain America? Is so
It's
okay.
like
I
what?
have I
Like you are not a superhero.
no. So is this so? I have a question. Is this how they're going to connect the MCU to Lightyear and the Toy Story universe? If Tom Hanks is going to be in this movie, is Woody going to be like some superhero cowboy? Like if
Oh
is
man,
was
you
Andy
just blew my mind. You just blew my mind a little bit because I got an idea. But go ahead.
is so I'm trying to think of a wait, hold up. Is Andy's real name Peter Parker?
Duh.
Wait, there's so many wait, hold up now. Wait. Was the did you saw Toy Story 3,
I
right?
actually I have not seen Toy Story 3.
So Toy Story 3, she gives the toys up. Andy gives up his toy because Andy's an adult now. He gives up his toy to like a girl that you could sort of say it is either Hispanic or from India. Was that Kamala Khan? Was that Kamala Khan? Oh my goodness.
Y'all, everyone, you hear Lottie nerding out over here. This, I think, what's funny to me is we were saying this before about how everybody wants to be in a Marvel movie.
Mhm.
You have some of the biggest names in acting who have just like who've been in a Marvel movie. They haven't been like they're not doing long-term contracts. I mean, Kate Blanchett was there for for one movie. Anthony Hopkins did a couple, so forth. I mean, Robert Redford was in some. That sort of thing. Um, and it is weird to me that Tom Hanks is just like, no, they haven't called me or anything like that. And I'm sure Kevin Feige was like, is that how that works? Tom Hanks, if I call you, you'll want to do something with me. I'm sure it never crossed his mind that that was something they ought to do. But I say, why not? You made me
Mhm.
think like maybe he could be the two gun kid. Uh,
Yeah.
which I if you that's a deep cut Marvel, that's a deep Marvel cut right there. He could he's a cowboy, but why not? If you know what, let's speak this into existence. Tom Hanks is going to be in the MCU. Uh, Playing who? I don't know. I I don't want him. I don't think I want him suiting up as a superhero, but I would be down for him being, you know, a member of Shield or the president, or I guess he could be a superhero. I guess if he could be a celestial. Hell, I don't know. Let's just make it happen. Let's just make it happen.
Yes.
Let's speak.
Tom
Yes,
Hanks
yeah.
is an Tom Hanks is another guy that has a right to be in any movie he wants to. He just has the he just has the God given right. If he wants to be in a Marvel movie, Disney, shut the fuck up and just give him $200 million and let him be in the movie.
Make it
Shut the
happen.
fuck up and just
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever he wants to. He could be Daredevil. I'll buy it. I will buy it. I'm like Charlie Cox. Step aside. So just,
Oh,
s-
seeing him as Daredevil will be hilarious.
speaking of Daredevil, speaking of Daredevil, it is our last little bit of news for before we talk about Disney Plus Day. God, all this talk about Charlie Cox and everything. You've heard a lot about this stuff, right? Like, oh, he's going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, and all the, it's and
Mhm.
they're gearing up. So this idea that they're gearing up for a quote fourth season of Daredevil. Some guy posted I guess posted a casting call or something for a Daredevil project, which of course means would be Marvel Studios doing it. But that's supposedly, and we had talked about, I think before, about the possibility, the rumor that they might be trying to do this. So this casting thing goes out. So let's throw more fuel on this fire. Are we going to get season 4 of Daredevil? And not even are we going to see him in No Way Home. Let's just assume we are, because this fucking rumor won't go away. Are we getting a season 4 of Daredevil?
Let me tell you something. I blame Kevin Feige for this. He knows what he's damn doing. I blame Kevin Feige for this. He is playing us all like a fiddle. He is having absolute fun. This is like free advertisement. He doesn't have to put up a commercial. He probably saw this as like, oh yeah, let's run with this. Let's just not say anything and just talk about it. Pretend like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Just do it. Just go ahead. This is free advertisement. Kevin Feige loves this because let's be honest, if it wasn't happening, he would have came out and said, "No, it's not happening." But he hasn't said it yet. So what does that tell you? He is using this as free advertisement. Speculation. Oh man, this is speculation is one of the best advertisement. One of the just gonna give you guys, some of you listeners who are younger. I'm gonna give you like a quick anime, like one of the biggest like speculations in anime was in Naruto was if Pain was Naruto's older brother. Like the dots connected. You people who are listening to this who probably binge watch Naruto are probably going like, y'all really thought that? If y'all didn't like if y'all were watching Naruto as a weekly basis, when Pain was first introduced, he looked like Naruto. His hair was red, all this stuff. And even they asked Kishimoto himself. Kishimoto just shrugged. One of the biggest speculations if Naruto's older brother was Pain, and it sold the Pain arc. You know what I mean? It was free advertisement. Kishimoto didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to do like the climactic battle of Naruto versus Pain. It was just like, oh wait, Naruto has to fight his older brother? What? Nani? You know what I mean? Just
Right.
free advertisement. Speculation is the freest advertisement for the nerd community.
Yeah, that you look at what we're doing now. So,
Yep.
so, I hope this is true. But oh God, it's when we talk about Disney Plus Day, you'll see like there's just so much more that may be going on. So, it could be happening. Why not? Why the hell not? Is my question. Why the hell not? So, all right, so that's all our news for this week. It's a ton, but you know what? Maybe we missed some stuff. And if we did, or if you just have a comment about something we talked about, you just want to throw something out there, chop it up, hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter, and we'll check it out. Maybe we'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it is main topic time. This is a big main topic. Let's just be honest. Disney Plus Day. Disney Plus Day was last Friday, and it's basically celebrating 2 years of Disney Plus, where it's arguably one of the biggest streaming services in the world. I don't want to say it's the number two, but it probably is the number two streaming service in the world. And Marvel is a big part of that. Marvel is a big part of that. And this year, Marvel has been going hard. Can you
Mm-hmm.
agree with me on that? They've been going hard this year on Disney Plus.
Yes.
They have been they have been one of the main reasons to even have Disney Plus, with WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and What If, and they were gonna
Yeah.
have Miss Marvel, but Miss Marvel's not going. And then of course, uh, Hawkeye is premiering next week. So Disney and Mar is banking hard on Marvel as one of the driving reasons that you even give a crap about Disney Plus. So to that end, they had a presentation. They had a video presentation where they talked about, or they showcased what's coming from Marvel onto Disney Plus, and we're going to talk about all that stuff because it's a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of big fun things. but something that wasn't necessarily Marvel related, but I do want to talk about it was Baymax. I first of all, Big Hero 6 is one of the best damn movies that Disney's put out.
Yeah.
Fight me on that. I loved Big Hero 6. It was so good. And then I heard like, a year ago, like I want to say it was sometime last fall they were talking about, oh, we're going to have a Baymax series. So they put out a trailer for that series where it literally is Baymax, and he's not a superhero in this. He's doing what he was designed to do, which was to be a medical assistant. And it's kind of a comedic showcasing of how Baymax, is doing his best and then still sort of, getting into silly things. And I thought it was adorable, and I
Mm.
definitely want to watch it. Um, I don't know. I know you like Big Hero 6. Is this something that this something that moves your
Mhm.
needle?
Yes. What? Big Hero 6 was huge for me. But let me tell you something. Kingdom Hearts 3 was a disgrace of a Kingdom Hearts game. Absolute disgrace of a Kingdom Hearts game. One of the saving graces of that game was the Big Hero 6 world.
Nice.
Big Hero 6 is a big, big time IP that I hope that I'm just happy that Disney hasn't forgot about. Like, I utterly enjoyed the movie. The guy who always wanted to be a superhero and put on the suit, jump into action. I love that movie. It's all the friends, the brother who passed away, those were his friends, and they all became friends with the little brother. Oh, it's such a good story. Baymax, and he had to make a new Baymax. Oh, Big Hero 6 is one of those movies that I feel like is extremely underrated. No one talks about it as an animated movie. You've noticed that. Everyone talks about the Frozens of the world, the Loca, all that stuff. Big Hero 6 is basically falling on the wayside, and I don't understand why. It honestly should have already been had a sequel by now, but unfortunately it didn't. But now Disney's like, hey, Big Hero 6? Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they may be testing the waters here to see about a new Big Hero 6. I want Marvel Studios to have them, but I understand why they're letting Disney Animation keep a hold of them. So this looks cute. It looks like it could be fun, so I'm interested. I'm looking forward to that. Staying on the animated tip, you know what? I saw this and I was like, man, Ladi is gonna flip his shit about this. X-Men '97, an animated sequel series to the '90s animated show, X-Men show. Um, I love that show. There's lots of people my age and a little
Mm-hmm.
bit younger that love that show. Uh, I think this is genius. And so, Lottie, how did you avoid from losing your shit when you saw when I texted you about this?
Listen, when I went and looked at it on Twitter, the fact that Disney used the Wolverine meme,
That was so good.
it was just perfect, and I was just like, "Oh yes, I'm down with this. Absolutely down with this. I love to see this. Happy, happy that they're making uh this movie. I mean, I'm this TV show. They're bringing it back. Pretty much. So am I correct to say that it's pretty much just a remaster
No,
of
it's
the
not
show?
not a remaster. It is a brand new show that is a sequel series to the
Oh.
'90s X-Men show.
Okay. Oh, okay. 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 Yeah, I'm down with this. About time. Bring back all these animated. See, uh, uh, DC's not the only one that can make good animated shows. So, is this going to be for kids or is it going to be an adult?
I I do believe that this is Marvel Studios is putting this. Their animation studios putting this out. I would think it's probably going to be uh, kid appropriate, just like the original animated show was. So I would say it's probably uh,
Mhm.
PG at most. Which isn't to say they can't do good stuff with it, but just with an understanding that the PG-13 probably is not where they're going with it. Um,
Hmm.
but this, I mean, I love this idea. I love the idea of going all in. That's if you take anything away from Disney Plus Day Marvel, is that they're going all in. They are not like they are literally looking at, like as they said in the Hawkeye trailer. There's
Hmm.
more arrows. You have trick arrows. There's more arrows than this.
Hmm.
Yes, yes. Let me tell you, when they say when Disney bought
Hmm.
Marvel, they bought them with this in mind of
Hmm.
exploiting the shit out of everything that they've got, including the X-Men animated show. Like, so we're getting this. I think it's great. I'm on it. I'm gonna watch that shit. um, moving on. We were talking about horror earlier, right? Moon Knight. We got a first look at it. A very it's like 30 seconds worth of footage looking at Moon Knight. So we
Hmm.
finally got to see Oscar Isaac as Mark Spector. We heard some words and everything. And and we actually got to see Moon Knight in action, uh, and maybe some kind of glimpse at whatever kind of supernatural villain is going on, snatching people up and shit like that. Like he's like the bedroom intruder, except he's got superpowers. Um, so we got to look at that, and I'm telling you, God dang it, I'm ready for this shit.
Yeah.
I'm fucking ready for this. Like, look, I like Moon Knight's one of the first characters I ever really knew when I first started reading comics way back in the day. And I've read his 70s stuff. It there's he's supposedly empowered by a god, an Egyptian god, and possibly he's crazy. He might have multiple personalities and all this other stuff. Um, but it's pretty clear, like I said, that the supernatural portion of the MCU is getting built up now, and so I'm there for that. What do you think, Lottie?
So basically, he's Batman,
He
but
he
without the
pretty
supernatural powers.
he pretty much is Batman. He is one
But
of the
Batman's crazy.
he's one of the many people in the Marvel universe that is sort of like Batman.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't want to say it, but Batman's fucking crazy.
Batman does have he is a little maniacal about things. And Mark Spector is definitely not. I don't want to say not playing with a full deck, but he's definitely it's like Split. The guy in Split. He's kind of like that, or is he? Is the god that empowered him real? Who knows?
Hmm.
But we know this is going to be an action oriented thing, and he's very Batman esque. So I really like the look, and I can't wait till we see more. But we're probably not going to get that till you know late next year. Um, we had an announcement uh, for the Echo series. So this is spinning off of Hawkeye. The character Echo. We just saw the logo, but the character Echo is basic. Think of Echo as um, what would you say? You would think of Echo as Daredevil, but instead of can't see, she can't hear. So, but she's got
Hmm.
like photographic reflexes and stuff like that. And she is apparently going to be the villain. I guess you could say the villain of Hawkeye, of the Hawkeye series, and she's getting a spinoff series. So they show the logo for that one. They also showed a picture, one picture. They showed the logo for Secret Invasion, and they showed a picture. Sam Jackson, Nick Fury. He's just kind of like look, I don't have an eye patch anymore, and also I'm growing my beard. That's his. That was kind of his thing. That's all we got out of that, just to let us know that I think we said that they are filming Secret Invasion. I think they're filming Secret Invasion right now. So there's that going. That was going. There's a bunch of logos. We unfortunate thing about the Disney Plus A thing, there was a lot of logo stuff. Um,
So with Secret Invasion, were the scrolls this whole time evil, or they're So they're saying, or are they implying there are bad scrolls?
I think the implication is that there are bad scrolls. So the scrolls that Nick Fury knows, that Talos, um, they were, remember Talos's people. He was trying to free from that spaceship,
Hmm.
and but then they left with Captain Marvel, to go wherever to find a new home. That doesn't mean to say that there weren't other scrolls on Earth, that may have infiltrated things. So I think the implication here is that some good scrolls are going to be assisting Nick Fury in trying to root out the bad scrolls. But
Scrolls.
yeah, scrolls every day. These guys, it's it's if it's even halfway of what the Secret Invasion was in the comics, it should be pretty fun. It'll be a good time. So, but we got that logo. We got many logos. We got the Ironheart logo to just let us know for sure they are working on the Ironheart show. And we mentioned before that who've been cast as Ironheart. Um, this was a fun one that I really enjoyed. We're getting a Marvel Zombies. They're making Marvel Zombies for real, like an actual. I believe it's going to be animated. They're making a Marvel Zombies um, show for Disney Plus. What, Lottie? What world are we living in where we're gonna actually get a Marvel Zombie show where they really are gonna do this? What did? Can I go back in time and just like slap my 16-year-old self and let them know you cannot believe it. There's going to be zombies in the Marvel universe, and they're going to make
Yeah.
a show about it. Shit's crazy. This shit's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like, it's funny. I think this was probably green lighted way before, but I'm pretty sure the what if episode pretty much like put a fire underneath it even more, where people are like really, really into it, saying like, "Oh man, this is the next big thing." You know what I mean? I feel like that really added more fire to this this whole entire this whole entire thing with the with this TV show, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with it. I mean, is it going to be like The Walking Dead but with superpowers?
I'm hoping. First of all, I hope that Zombie Head Scott Lang is in it. I want that to be true. I want Zombie Head Scott Lang to be in it, or not Zombie Head, but like detached head Scott Lang to be in it. But also, I want it to be funny. I have to stress that because the first Marvel Zombies it ends up actually being kind of like a dark humor sort of situation. Very morbid, graveyard humor sort of situation. I want that to be what this is. There actually is a version of Marvel Zombies that has Deadpool as a head. Like, so imagine Deadpool, a zombie Deadpool head running around, or someone carrying him around, and he's sort of like, popping off and saying stupid jokes and shit like that. I want that. That's what I want this to be.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think if they go that way, they'll be smart. We got confirmation of What If season 2. I mean, who didn't know that? That first season's fire. So of course we know we're gonna get a second season because
Oh yeah.
we gotta find out what's up with Gamora. How'd she take out Thanos?
And we gotta see Smooth. We gotta see Smooth. Winter Soldier. Steve Rogers. I can't. So is he going to have Hydra agents basically giving him like arm busters or something?
uh,
Or is he fit underneath that armor? It would be badass if he got. Well, he has to be because the Winter Soldier got. Uh, he he has to have the super soldier serum because how does he survive all those times being frozen in animation? We pretty much is like I won't say confirmed, but it's pretty much like hinted that the super soldier serum allows you to I don't say it makes you age slower, but allows stuff like that to happen to you. So I think he's taken it. So he's had to have gotten buff. I guess he just stays. He just takes the armor with him because he knows it's part of his mantra.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out. Season two. I know they're hard at work on it right now. I think hopefully we'll get it before the end of the year. Next year. Now we get into some. Well, I actually let's do a couple more like just logos or whatever. So the I am Groot, the little I am Groot. It's gonna be like a bunch of shorts, which everyone loves a little bit. I think the I am Groot is actually supposed to be about adolescent or teenage Groot or something like that. Like not grown up Groot, not baby Groot, but somewhere in between there. So that should be a lot of fun, especially for the kids who seem to love Groot.
Hmm.
Um, there's also the Agatha House of Harkness was we I think we talked about this that they were talking about doing a spinoff of this, and this is basically confirmed and showing a logo for that. I'm pretty geeked for that. I have to say, aside from the magic laser fight that happened at the end of WandaVision, I thought that the Agatha character was very compelling and interesting, and I really enjoyed her as a character. So when they said, "Yeah, we're going to do more with her," hell yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah, she's a very interesting character. Like you said, definitely want to see more of her to see what she's
I think it's and
see.
by the way, I think it's a prequel, but they're going to be showing her past, so it's not just going to be like, oh, how does she get out of how does she get out of Wanda's trap?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I definitely want to see her origin story, and maybe they end with her getting out of Wanda's
I
trap.
mean,
You don't know.
they have to end that way.
Yeah.
But this is more proof that they are really leaning into the supernatural side of things. Like magic, last time was cosmic stuff. It's magic seems to be on the front burner as far as moving things along. So
Yep.
it's
I mean, look at Shang Chi. I mean, just saying.
yep. I mean, absolutely. Um, there's going to be a Spider-Man. It's called Spider-Man Freshman Year, and it is an animated prequel series that basically talks about Peter Parker's first year at high school and also being Spider-Man in the MCU. Fucking genius. That's all I'm gonna say. What a smart idea. They are for real taking animation seriously at Marvel Studios. Absolute
So,
genius idea.
so is this like canon, or is this
Yes.
like
No, all of this stuff that we're talking about here, everything is canon. I mean, obviously, Marvel Zombies is going to be an alternate universe, but this is for real.
well, technically it's canon,
Well, I'm saying it is, but I'm saying
but
it's an alt.
it's not part of the
The
616.
Yeah, no, this is going to be mainline. Peter Parker, his first year of being Spider-Man and being in high school, so it's going to kind of complete the years, if you will. So No Way Home. I mean, Homecoming was
I think it was sophomore year.
sophomore year. Uh, Far From Home was junior year, and then No Way Home is going to be senior year. So uh, freshman year is going to be his first year in high school. So, like I said, this is what a genius idea. Like, ev people are going to show up for it because it actually means something. You know, it
And
actually has
plus,
something to do with the world.
when's the last time we had a good Spider-Man TV show? You know, it's been a very long time. Some people will say, "Oh, Spectacular Spider-Man was good." Shut the fuck up. Um, uh, Ultimate Spider-Man was all right, but we haven't had a actual good animated Spider-Man show in a long time. And if this is mainline DC, I mean not DC, mainline Marvel, I'm down with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a great, and this is my favorite iteration of Spider-Man. So hell yeah, that's why I want that. So now let's talk about things we actually got to see. All that was logos. This is shit we actually got to see. They had new footage of Miss Marvel, of the with complete with VFX and everything. They kind of cheap. I don't want to say they kind of cheaped out, but they kind of were lame for not actually showing her using her powers. But it's clear that she can somehow, if not fly, she can somehow propel herself or walk or something like that
Hmm.
in air. We saw her sort of fangirling out about Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, and we even saw her wear like a costume that looked like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And we also, and one other thing they made sure to showcase, and so I think this is important to underscore the fact that she is in fact, uh, um, you know, of the Muslim faith. She is Pakistani American, so that part is going to be important to the story. The fact that she is actually from a certain community that really is vastly underrepresented within comic books, and I mean it. Like think about
And
how
and it
think about
and
how
it's
many. Yeah,
ridiculous. And you know what's so ridiculous about this? Comic books are like the comic book industry makes billions of dollars in India.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Like,
she's not Indian, but she's Pakistani.
well,
But
packet. Well, I mean, not well, not well, that area. Well, India, Middle Eastern, they're really into comic book because Asia, even the Middle East, they're really into like supernatural, like gods, like stuff, and they actually instead of like a lot of like uh uh Eastern, I mean, not Western religions who make a lot of their religious people very pious and stuff like that. Eastern religions literally make comic books about their gods. Even though she is Muslim, there are comic books of Muslim heroes. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's it's gonna be interesting because she says like brown girls from New Jersey don't usually save the world, and her friends like, oh, maybe this brown girl can. And I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I've said before, if they do this right, if they do Miss Marvel correctly, she could be you know the Peter Parker, the Spider Man of the MCU, if Spider Man may be taken out of the MCU. She could be. She has that potential. She very much is in that similar vein. It looks good to me. I am looking forward to that extremely. Got like 8 months to go to see it, so we'll see.
Hmm.
We got a first look at She Hulk. Like for real, we got to see Jennifer Walters, as a person, and then Jennifer Walters as a She Hulk, and we saw Bruce Banner. There's some interesting timeline questions in here because, as you know from seeing the end of Shang Chi, last time we saw Bruce Banner, he's not Professor Hulk anymore. But in this one, he is. When is this taking place? What's the timeline for this particular thing? Because Professor Hulk is definitely, and he doesn't have a broke arm, a messed up arm from the Infinity Gauntlet. Could this be happening during the snap? During the 5 year, between
Hmm.
Endgame and Infinity War. Is it before the snap? I don't actually. It wouldn't be. It would be during the snap, but it wouldn't be after. So that there's some timeline questions about it. Um, but we got to see her being green, and you know, possibly some fourth wall breaking stuff going on. I don't. Lottie, I'm pretty excited for this. How about you?
Yeah. I'm definitely wanting to see more and more. You already know how I'm down with this. I want to see more and more of all these characters, especially like you said, She Hulk. You know what I mean? Uh, like I said, she needs to suplex one of the people inside of the courtroom. If it has to be Daredevil, if her and Daredevil have to have a wrestling match inside of the courtroom, I'm down for it and I want to see it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Charlie Cox going to show up in this? We keep wondering. There's a lawyer. Is he going to be one of them?
Hmm.
There's no hint of that in this, but it looks cool so far. Um, we also got. I think we. Well, let's see. What was the other thing we got to look at? We got to look at Hawkeye. I don't know if you saw. Now Hawkeye comes out next week. They showed an extended scene from Hawkeye that kind of like a car chase scene and everything like that.
Hmm.
And God dang it, that look. They showed not just the scene, but you also got to see a little more of Echo, right? That's I'm just this thing went from this little teaser. This show went from like, oh, excited to see it because it's an MCU thing and I like Hawkeye. Now I'm just like, hell yes, I cannot wait to see that because we got to see more of Kate Bishop alongside Hawkeye, and we got to see them both in action and everything. And man, it looks awesome. Just looks awesome to me.
Yep.
It's
Like I said, I'm down. I can't wait to see. Oh man, I'm like I said, I'm loving what Marvel's doing. Marvel, keep doing what you're doing. Keep making more of this stuff. Don't stop.
yes, yes. Uh, there's a lot of promise in here. This is like I said, they're going all in. Disney, I mean, and Marvel, they are going all in on all this stuff. They think that you are not tired of it, that
Hmm.
you want more, and that you're willing to, spend time on Disney Plus in the MCU when they tell you that you need to pay attention.
Yep.
So, but we'll see if they're correct about this. I mean, you and I, we're not representative. We're going to show up for whatever. We'll see if you know your family members, my family members, your friends that aren't locked into this stuff, if they're willing to invest their time and headspace in all of this stuff. Because you have to admit, every year you get four movies, plus you get four or five, maybe six TV shows a year. Actually,
Hmm.
I think they're going to settle into a routine of four or five TV shows and four movies a year. And if they do settle into that routine, that's a lot for people to hold on to,
Yep.
and to sort through. And they got to ask people like you and me, what do I have to watch and what, can I sort of watch? Like, what if is definitely an optional show, but I bet you in a few years it won't be so optional because they're going to have spin-offs of that. And so, how they're testing the water to see how much is too much. What's the saturation point?
Hmm.
Um, and while they're figuring that out, we win. So, as far as I'm concerned, we win. Um,
Yep.
so I'm really excited for this. Disney Plus Day was kind of their way they rolled it out was kind of weird, but the actual news of it was really awesome, and I'm happy and I can't wait. So,
Hmm.
well, those are our thoughts on Disney Plus Day. All the announcements. What did you guys think about Disney Plus Day? Did you enjoy what you saw, or did you have questions? Are you concerned, or just in general, you want to share some kind of thoughts about it? Jump down into the comments, or of course, you can hit us up, supernotfunnyshow at gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter, and we'll chop it up. We'll talk about Disney Plus Day and all the Marvel stuff coming down the pike. Also, while you're in the mood to click on things, why don't you get down there and hit that subscribe button and join the Super Not Funny Show family? And of course, you can hit the notification bell. It will tell you when we drop new content. And, we do reviews and podcasts, all that good stuff. And you know what? I could not do the Super Not Funny Show Supercast without the knowledge and the insight of my good friend Lottie. So, Lottie, could you tell them where they can catch you online?
Oh man, yeah, you can always catch me on my Instagram, which is Anukinihun. It's spelled ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. And of course, my YouTube channel, which is about to start revving up to. Um, I'm about to build a streaming PC so I can start streaming some Switch games, some PlayStation games. Also going to start streaming drunk Halo. Drunk Halo. And you guys will get a laugh out of me and my friends playing the game. So definitely catch that. You know, leave a like if you don't like the content. Please leave a comment and tell me how I can improve it. So yeah, guys, you're welcome. I take all types of criticism, good or bad.
Yeah, you guys go check that out. Check out some of those live streams. Show some love to our good friend Ladi on his channel. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks once again for joining us on this episode 26 of the Super Not Funny Show Supercast. Come back next week. You know what? I'm thinking we're gonna go back and revisit Shang-Chi because Lottie just got to see that. We'll revisit that. We're gonna also talk about Eternals, and we have this coming week is going to be Hit Monkey on Hulu. So we're gonna check all of that out too. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Hawkeye. But I think we may save Hawkeye for the week after, just because so much shit is going on right now. But either
Yeah,
way,
can't wait.
yeah, and it's going to be 2 episodes, so we're definitely going to want to take our time with that one. So either way, come back and join us next time on the Super Not Funny Show Supercast. Until then, I have been Mo de Poupe, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the video game designer, anime expert, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.